My name is Quinn, and I've been married to Derek for 18 years. We have a 16-year-old daughter named Sophie, and until 6 months ago, I thought we had the perfect family. I was wrong. It started with small things. Sophie would give vague answers when I asked about her day. "How was school?" I asked one Tuesday evening. "Fine," Sophie said, not looking up from her phone. "Did you have that chemistry test?" "Mom, I told you it got moved to Friday." "You did? When?" "Yesterday. Weren't you listening?" I was certain she hadn't mentioned it, but I let it go. Then it happened again. "Sophie, did you go to Emily's house after school?" I asked. "Yeah, we studied for history." "That's funny, because Emily's mom just texted me that Emily was at a dental appointment." Sophie's face went red. "Oh, I meant Jessica's. You said Emily." "I misspoke, Mom. God, why are you interrogating me?" Derek walked in. "Quinn, leave her alone. She's 16, not 6. "I'm not interrogating. I'm asking a simple question." "You're being paranoid," Derek said. "Sophie, go finish your homework." Sophie practically ran out. I turned to Derek. "Don't undermine me like that," I said. "I'm stopping you from being overbearing. Our daughter just lied to me. She mixed up names. You're making a big deal out of nothing." But it wasn't nothing. It kept happening. Small lies that were adding up. The breaking point came on a Thursday. Derek said he had a business dinner. "Who are you meeting?" I asked. "Jim Halstead, the new investor." "What time will you be home?" "Probably 11. After he left, I asked Sophie to help with dishes. "Did Dad seem stressed today?" I asked casually. "Not really. He seemed fine when he picked me up." "He picked you up? I thought you took the bus?" Sophie froze. Yeah, I took the bus. I meant yesterday." "Yesterday was Wednesday. You had dance class. I picked you up." "Right. I'm just confused about the days." "Sophie, where did your father pick you up today?" "Nowhere. I took the bus." "You just said he picked you up." "I didn't mean to say that. Can we drop this?" I called Derek. It went to voicemail. "That's weird," I said. "His phone's off." "Maybe he's already in the restaurant," Sophie said quickly. Too quickly. "Is your father really at a business dinner?" "How would I know?" "You seemed very certain about his phone being off." "Mom, you're being crazy. I'm going to my room." I drove to Bernard's Steakhouse, where Derek always took clients. "Hi, I'm supposed to meet my husband, Derek Chen. Has he checked in?" I asked the hostess. She scanned her list. "I don't have a Chen tonight." My stomach dropped. "Thank you." I called Sophie from my car. "Hi, Mom," she answered nervously. "Sophie, I need the truth. Where is your father?" "At his dinner. I'm at Bernard's. They don't have a reservation. Where is he really?" Long pause. "I don't know." "Yes, you do." "Mom, please don't make me." "Don't make you what? Lie to me? What's going on?" "I can't tell you. Dad said—" She stopped abruptly. "Dad said what?" "Nothing. I have to go." She hung up. I sat there, hands shaking. Dad said. Those 2 words confirmed everything. When Derek got home at 11:30, I was waiting. "Hey, how was your night?" he asked. "You tell me. How was dinner with Jim Halstead?" "Good. Productive." "Really? What did you eat?" "Steak, the usual." "At Bernard's?" "Where else?" I stood up. "Derek, I went to Bernard's. They had no reservation for you." His expression didn't change. "Must have been under Jim's name." "I think you're lying. And I think you've been coaching Sophie to lie for you." "That's insane." "She told me you picked her up today. Then she tried to cover it. Where were you really?" "I told you." "Stop lying to me." Derek's face hardened. "You're being hysterical. This is exactly why Sophie and I don't tell you everything. You overreact." "Sophie and I? So you 2 have secrets from me?" "I'm going to bed. We'll talk when you're calm." He walked upstairs, leaving me shaking with anger. The next morning, I called my sister Rachel. "Rachel, I need your help," I said, explaining everything. "Quinn, this sounds serious. Have you checked your bank accounts?" "What?" "Why? If he's lying about his whereabouts and involving Sophie, he might be hiding financial stuff too." I logged into our joint account and started scrolling. Oh my God, I whispered. What? There are withdrawals I don't recognize. Thousands of dollars over 4 months. Where's it going? Cash withdrawals. 500 here, 1,000 there. Almost $15,000 total. Quinn, you need a lawyer. Today. Rachel recommended James Martinez. I met him that afternoon. Mrs. Chen, tell me what's happening, James said. I explained everything. Derek's lies, Sophie's involvement, the missing money. And your daughter is definitely aware she's lying? He asked. Yes. She admitted Derek told her not to tell me something. That's parental alienation. It's taken very seriously in custody cases. Custody? I don't want a divorce. You might not have a choice. If your husband is hiding assets and manipulating your daughter, he may be preparing for one. Do you have access to his phone or computer? I have his old phone. He upgraded last month. Bring it to me. Also, I'm recommending you hire a forensic accountant and a private investigator. This feels extreme. Mrs. Chen, your husband has stolen $15,000 that you know about and turned your daughter into his accomplice. This is already extreme. I hired Detective Sarah Chen that same day. I'll need access to all financial records and your daughter's phone if possible, Sarah said. Sophie will never give me her phone. Can you access her iCloud? Maybe. Her dad set it up. That night, while Derek was supposedly working late and Sophie was at a friend's house, I went through Derek's old phone. What I found made me sick. Text messages to Sophie. Don't tell Mom I picked you up. Say you took the bus. If Mom asks about tonight, I was at the office. Remember, we talked about this. Mom's been really stressed. Let's not worry her with extra details. And texts from Sophie. Mom's asking questions again. She knows something's wrong. I hate lying to her. When is this going to end, Dad? Derek's response. Soon, baby girl. Just a little longer. Trust me, this is for the best. Mom wouldn't understand. I forwarded everything to James and Sarah. Sarah worked fast. Within a week, she had a full report. Quinn, this is worse than we thought, she said, handing me a folder. Your husband hasn't just taken $15,000. He's embezzled over $80,000 from your joint accounts and his business account. $80,000? Where did it go? Gambling, mostly. Online poker. He has debts to some questionable people. He's also been meeting with a divorce attorney for 3 months. He's planning to leave me? Not exactly. He's planning to make you look like the unstable parent so he can file for divorce, get custody of Sophie, and hide his debts. That's why he's been coaching Sophie. He needs her to testify that you're overbearing and paranoid. I felt sick. My own husband. My own daughter. Sophie's a victim here too, James reminded me. She's being manipulated. We have evidence of that. What do? We confront him, James said. But smartly, with evidence and witnesses. We set it up for the following Saturday. James, Sarah, and Rachel came to our house. Sophie was at a confirmed sleepover. When Derek got home, his face fell seeing everyone in the living room. What's going on? He asked. Sit down, Derek, I said calmly. This is the conversation we should have had months ago, the honest one. James spoke up. Mr. Chen, I'm James Martinez, Mrs. Chen's attorney. This is Detective Sarah Chen. We need to discuss financial discrepancies and concerning behavior toward your daughter. I don't have to talk to you, Derek said, turning to leave. You're right, you don't, Sarah said. But the DA will want to talk about the $83,000 you've embezzled. Derek froze. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do, I said. I have your old phone, Derek. I have the texts to Sophie. I know about the gambling. I know you've been planning to divorce me and make me look like a bad mother. That's insane! I pulled out printed texts. Don't tell Mom I picked you up. Say you took the bus. Another one. If Mom asks about tonight, I was at the office. Want me to continue? Derek's face went pale. You had no right to go through my phone. It's community property, James said, and you committed fraud. You've been systematically stealing from joint accounts and engaging in parental alienation. coaching your minor daughter to deceive her mother. I was protecting her from Quinn's paranoia. Really? I asked. Protecting her by dragging her into your lies? By making her feel guilty? By using her as your alibi while you gambled away our savings? It wasn't gambling. It was investments. Sarah laughed. Mr. Chen, we have your online poker account history. Want to revise that statement? I want a lawyer. Good idea, James replied. You're going to need one. We're filing for divorce, full custody for Mrs. Chen, and criminal charges for fraud and embezzlement. We're also requesting a full forensic audit of your business. You can't do this. We already did, I said. The police have all the evidence. Your choice is whether to make this easier or harder. Derek looked at me with pure hatred. After everything I've given you. Given me? You stole from me. You manipulated our daughter. You tried to gaslight me into thinking I was crazy. Just then, Sophie walked in. She was supposed to be at her sleepover, but had gotten worried and came home. Dad? She said, seeing his face. What's happening? Sophie, go to your room, Derek ordered. No, I said. Sophie, you should hear this. Your father has been lying to both of us. He stole money from our family. He coached you to lie to me so he could hide it. That's not true, Derek said quickly. Sophie, your mother is... Stop, Sophie said, tears streaming. Just stop, Dad. I can't do this anymore. I hate lying. I hate keeping secrets. I hate how I feel every time Mom asks me a question and I have to make something up. Sophie, baby, I was trying to protect you. From what? From Mom? She's never done anything but love us. You're the one who... She broke down sobbing. Rachel wrapped Sophie in a hug. Derek looked around the room, at Sarah's impassive face, James's professional demeanor, Rachel's protective stance, and my unwavering stare. You all turned against me, he said. No, I replied. You turned against us, against your family. Every lie, every manipulation, every dollar you stole, that was your choice. Sophie, tell them, Derek pleaded. Tell them how your mother is always suspicious, always questioning. Because you gave me reason to, I shouted. Because things weren't adding up. Any sane person would question what was happening. Mr. Chen, this conversation is over, James said. You need to leave this house tonight. Mrs. Chen has a protective order being filed tomorrow. You'll be contacted about the criminal charges. Derek looked at Sophie one more time. Sophie, please. Go, Dad, Sophie whispered. Just go. He left without another word. Sophie collapsed into my arms, and we both cried. Not for Derek, but for the father and husband we thought we had, the man who never really existed. The next 6 months were brutal, but necessary. Derek was arrested for embezzlement and fraud. The forensic audit revealed he'd stolen not just from our family accounts, but from his business partners too. Total damages exceeded $200,000. His trial was surprisingly quick. With all the evidence Sarah had gathered, bank records, text messages, Sophie's testimony about the manipulation, Derek's lawyer advised him to take a plea deal. He got 4 years in prison. He also lost his business, his professional license, and any claim to our marital assets. I got full custody of Sophie. Derek gets supervised visitation once a month after his release, which he rarely takes advantage of. His lawyer tried to argue for unsupervised visits, but Sophie's testimony about how he'd coached her to lie destroyed any credibility he had as a parent. Mrs. Chen, your ex-husband systematically manipulated your teenage daughter to deceive you while he committed fraud, the judge said. That's not parenting. That's abuse. Supervised visitation only. The financial recovery took time. Derek's business partners sued him, and I had to prove I wasn't involved in his schemes. Eventually, I received a settlement that covered most of what he'd stolen from our accounts. Sophie and I are in therapy together. She carries enormous guilt about lying to me, even though I've told her repeatedly she was a victim too. Mom, I should have told you sooner, she said during one of our sessions. You were scared. He's your dad. He manipulated you into thinking you were protecting him. But I knew it was wrong. Every time I lied to you, I felt sick. And that's how I know you're going to be okay. You have a conscience. Your father lost his somewhere along the way. Our therapist, Dr. Morgan, nodded. Sophie, you were put in an impossible position by a parent you trusted. That's not your fault. What matters is how you move forward. The hardest part was explaining to friends and family why Derek wasn't around anymore. Some people didn't believe he could do what he did. His mother actually called me, demanding I drop the charges. He made a mistake, she insisted. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk, I replied. This was years of calculated deception and theft. He's still Sophie's father. He stopped being a real father the moment he turned her into his accomplice. Goodbye, Patricia. I blocked her number. Derek wrote letters from prison, trying to apologize. I threw them away without reading them. He'd call Sophie occasionally until I had the prison put him on a restricted list. She didn't want to talk to him anyway. Is it okay that I don't miss him? Sophie asked one night. Absolutely. You don't owe him anything. He broke your trust just like he broke mine. Do you think he'll ever understand what he did? Honestly, probably not. People like your father, they always see themselves as the victim. He'll convince himself we overreacted, that he was just trying to handle things his way, that we should have been more understanding. That's so messed up. It is? But it's not our problem anymore. We get to move forward without his lies. And we are moving forward. Sophie's grades improved dramatically once she didn't have the stress of covering for her father. She's applying to colleges now, and we talk about everything. No secrets. I've started dating again, though I'm incredibly cautious. Rachel jokes that I interrogate my dates like a detective. Can you blame me? I ask. Not even a little bit, she replies. The truth is, Derek's betrayal changed me. I'm more alert to red flags, more willing to trust my instincts, and absolutely unwilling to tolerate gaslighting. If something feels wrong, I investigate instead of dismissing my concerns. That's what I'd tell anyone in a similar situation. Trust your gut. If your partner is lying and involving your children in those lies, it's not paranoia. It's a legitimate crisis. Document everything, get professionals involved, and don't let anyone convince you that seeking truth makes you the problem. Derek once asked, near the end, why doesn't anyone trust me anymore? As if he genuinely couldn't understand. I almost laughed. You destroy trust by lying consistently, by manipulating people you're supposed to love, and by choosing your own interests over your family's well-being. Once that trust is gone, it doesn't come back. Sophie and I are building a new life based on honesty. It's not always easy, but it's real. And that's worth everything. Have you ever dealt with a partner who manipulated your children against you? Or someone who made you doubt your own reality? What steps did you take to protect yourself and your family? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.